Hello and welcome everyone. Thank you for joining me here at European Motors. So what I'd like to do here is look at an article that has been recently blowing up on the internet, on social media. It's called "The 9 Reasons Driving a Supercar Isn't as Cool as You Think." Now, it was written by Matthew DeBoard. This is in no way an attack, a personal attack or anything. It's just looking at the article and seeing, is this true to our experiences? And I'll tell you why I qualify as someone who would have experience in this field and why I believe this article is misleading, not on purpose, but I believe the author does not have enough information to back up his point sufficiently, and that the points he uses, the 9 reasons, are not strong enough points, and in fact they're invalid points. Let's get right into it. First of all, I do have to tell you, being the son of a mechanic who has done this for over 30 years and specializing in European cars, Italian cars, Ferraris, Lamborghinis, BMWs, Rolls Royces, I could go on. My dad and I, enough about the field to know about supercars. He's owned a few supercars himself, Ferraris and some others, BMWs, and the list goes on and on. So this is coming from someone who has been around supercars, knows supercars, actually knows the maintenance, knows costs very well. I want you guys to know what qualifications I have going into this. So let's start looking at the article. Now, first of all, I will leave a link in the description for the article itself so you can go and read it. It's on many pages, not only on Business Insider, so it should be easy to find, but I do have that link down there. We need to know the difference between a supercar, a hypercar, and a race car. And there are other terms as well. We want to keep it ultra simple. As you see this over here, this is a McLaren P1 GTR. Now, this is not street legal vehicle. This can only be driven on the racetrack. You can tell because of the different things in front and the vents and the fact that it's a McLaren P1 GTR. This is not street legal. But this is not a supercar. A supercar is a vehicle that is road legal, and it's a very powerful vehicle. Now, if we look down here, this is a Lamborghini Gallardo. Okay, this is a supercar. Okay, so this does qualify. And the first point is that they're very low to the ground. And is that true? Yes, it is absolutely true. A lot of them have lift kits to lift them up. However, some older models do not. I believe this Gallardo does not. Don't quote me on it. I know some Ferraris, earlier models, 04s, 05s, and backwards don't. And so you have to be really careful up driveways. However, let me show you something. This is a 2000 or so 530 BMW E39 model. Now, I have a customer I recently sold this to, bless his heart, he's a great man. But what happened is he forgot he'd never really owned a BMW before. These cars, believe it or not, are low. They're not lower than supercars, but this is not a supercar. And you have to be really careful with these front bumpers. When you get into European vehicles, they're made with design and aerodynamics in mind, and that calls for the vehicle center of gravity to be a lot lower, and therefore this would be lower. And so yes, you're going to scrape. You don't go into the driveway directly, you go into it sideways. So this is not a valid argument right here that they are low. Number 2, they have way too much power. Now, here's the thing. Supercars, this is a supercar. This is the Ferrari F12. This does have a lot of horsepower, excess of 600 horsepower. Now, they have way too much horsepower. So if you look over here, it's saying that you can lose control of the car and so forth. These cars are very smart. They're made with electronics that help keep you on the road. Now, if you're going to lose your common sense, make donuts, take the traction control off, yes, you're going to spin, you might cause an accident, and God forbid, kill yourself. This is true because they're so powerful. But if you drive this car respectfully, but if you also, learn the vehicle over time and drive it hard, they're very safe. In fact, these vehicles are made to grip the road and not spin. What you see in all the videos and so forth, these people are experienced, and the ones that get in crashes usually do not know what they're doing. So yes, they have too much power, but they're built with electronics in them to help you drive safely. Literally, someone who doesn't know can drive it very safely. Now, point number 3, I don't really understand. Okay, it costs a fortune to buy one, of course. There's so much money and technology that goes into this vehicle, so much research, that yes, some of them are inflated. This is a disaster. This is a Ferrari Enzo. It's worth upwards of $3 million. And what happens is, yes, they are costly vehicles, but I think everyone going into buying one of these knows that. That's very apparent. The parts are usually uniquely designed for this vehicle and therefore harder to make. They're not massively produced, and so price shoots up. That's a given. I believe that's common sense. If people don't know that, well, they should know that if you're going to buy $1 million vehicle, 100, 200, $400,000 vehicle, if you're going to do an oil service, it's not going to be $20. It might be in the hundreds of dollars. If you're going to pull the engine out, which a lot of these Ferraris you need to do, it's going to be tens of thousands to do that. Brake jobs on these cars are upwards of 10 to 20, even more, $1,000. And so that's something that you need to know and get into is maintenance, and understand that maintenance is a part of the vehicle. Number 4. Now this one makes me laugh, and it's that they're utterly uncomfortable. Obviously, this author does not know supercars that well, because there are supercars that are more comfortable than Rolls Royces. And we're talking about a good example, the McLaren. The McLaren has special suspension that is magnetic. You're basically riding on a cushion of air. It is rated as one of the most comfortable supercars in the world. Now, of course, are these cars made to ride in luxury and to be comfortable? No. But they make their best demands too. You have to understand that you buy these cars for power, you buy these cars for owning a Ferrari and so forth. You're sacrificing comfort for power and speed. That's just how it is. If your car is going to be super heavy, it's not going to be fast. And so they sacrifice the weight, make it lighter. The materials are more rigid, but they're lighter. And so you're not going to be as comfortable. But again, a lot of these supercars, for example, the Ferrari 430 Scuderia has special suspension where it makes it soft so that it could be a very comfortable ride even when you're going fast. I don't think this is a valid idea for not buying one. Now, this one is comical. No one leaves you alone with your supercar. Now, here's the thing. If you're going to buy a car that looks like this, or like this, or like this, I don't know who in their right mind would think that they're going to be left alone. It's beauty. It's a work of art. Of course, people are going to come and see you. Now, you might say, hey, I'm not a person who wants attention. I'm a person who doesn't want to be seen on the road. Well, buy a Mercedes AMG. Buy a BMW M car. Yes, it's not a Ferrari, but you're not going to be really stared at most of your time. However, if you want to buy something like the Ferrari here, then you're going to have to sacrifice that. People are going to look at you. It's not like people are going to stalk you. It does not happen. You will get people who ask you, can I see it? Can I take a picture with it? Can I maybe sit in it? And then you decide what you want to do. Yes, you get stares, but you know what? It depends where you go. There are places out in the country, there are places out of the city where you can drive and there's straight roads and you won't get bothered. So you're not going to get mobbed, believe me, if you drive out in your supercar. Now, I love number 6. A significant number of people think you're an ass blank. Now, here's the thing, okay? I don't know. This is how I was brought up. I believe that there are people out there that love me, and I also believe there are people out there who don't like me. That's just part of life, and that goes for everyone. Now, if I'm going to buy a supercar because I love it, it's my passion, I enjoy it, and someone thinks I'm this, well then guess what? Let them think what they want. Who knows what they're thinking? I've seen people with supercars and say, wow, what a lucky guy. That's so cool. And I don't think he is an asshole. I really don't. And again, this should not discourage you. You shouldn't worry about what people think to make you decide whether or not you want to buy a car. If you're enjoying yourself, you didn't steal the money, you worked hard for it, then the last thing on my mind is what that person is thinking about. Number 7. Oh my gosh, I just can't believe this 7th point. You can forget about drinking coffee. Now, first of all, I'm not going to get into the dilemma of coffee. But these cars don't have cup holders, most of them, these supercars. Why would they? It's a safety issue. You shouldn't be drinking coffee in the first place. Coffee's hot. You're going in a fast car that requires a lot of your attention. A supercar isn't just driven by accelerating and that's it. You need to really pay attention to what you're doing. The car is wider. It drives a lot differently than your everyday car. It needs your full attention. It really does. And if you're going to focus on coffee or on eating a hamburger or putting your makeup on or shaving, No. Do that when you're in your Prius or when you're in your Ford Cobalt or something. Do not do that when you're in your supercars. Now, this one I don't understand. Maybe someone could explain it to me. Again, I don't understand it. This is a Bugatti Chiron. It's the new Bugatti. It's come out over $1 million. Okay, super expensive. If you're able to plunk $1 million onto a vehicle, don't you think you could spend a good $200 every couple months to just make sure it's maintained? Now, let me tell you, the supercars that my dad has had, he's never washed with water, ever. He maintains it covered in a garage, and usually he has this special chemical that you just spray on, blemish-free, spot-free, repels dust. And basically, whenever you go for a drive, you come back and you just, rag the car up with that. It's called final inspection. You go to your tires. You don't really need a car wash. If you can't afford a few $100, here $200, and you have $1 million car or a car that's worth even over 100,000, I don't understand the logic there. That's not a lot of money, and some of them don't even cost this much, and they do a really good job. And then number 9, I just feel bad because number 9 isn't even really a valid point. It's meant to be cutesy. It's meant to be funny. I understand. It's an article, and it's meant to, entertain. But if you're saying that these are 9 valid points, if you want us to take this article seriously, and you're saying that you won't stop staring at your car, well, that's a good thing. Maybe you won't stop staring at your car and then you're just joking. So I don't know. I don't see the issue here. It said that I recently borrowed a Ferrari 488 from the manufacturer to review. I literally had to remind myself to stop looking at it and do something else. I was hypnotized. Okay, so obviously this author does not own a supercar. Maybe he did. Hey, maybe he did. But then again, bring up some valid arguments. Alright, thank you so much. If you enjoyed this, if you agree with my comments, leave a thumbs up. If you don't agree, I'd like to hear in the comments anyway. Who do you side with? Who makes sense to you? If you have a supercar, maybe you agree with some of these and these annoy you. I know people who have bought Ferraris and so forth and have returned them because of maintenance and have returned them because they're too low. And I understand that. It just wasn't for you. Supercars aren't for everyone. They're meant to be enjoyed by people who like them. Chess isn't for everyone either. It's meant for those who enjoy it. If you try chess and you hate it, well, just don't play chess, right? But I don't think that people should not buy supercars because of these. All right, thank you so much. And don't forget, guys, be safe and drive off.